Hey guys, what's going on? We are here about 20 minutes outside of Whistler doing a little backcountry adventure today, and I wanted to share my top 3 tech tools that I love to take with me into the backcountry.
3, 2, 1.
So the last few weeks have been absolutely amazing in the mountains. We've had great snow, really cold conditions, but about 12 to 24 hours ago, it really started to warm up. It's kind of raining at the lower elevation, so snow's expected to be pretty heavy today. Hopefully we'll get some nice stashes up higher in the Alpine. Avalanche conditions are high, so probably gonna be skiing pretty conservative slopes, but that's also why a lot of these tools come in handy when navigating your terrain. So one of the most important tech tools that I actually just got recently is the Garmin inReach Mini. And basically what it is an emergency beacon. If you ever get into trouble, oftentimes in the backcountry, there's no cell reception more times than not, and you have an SOS button, GPS connection, press it any time, and a message will get received from search and rescue in the area, and they can come send out a search party to find you. So I was pretty resistant to get the inReach or any kind of GPS SOS device for a while, but then we actually did get into one situation where we ended up having to tour for almost 24 hours. It got dark on us, blisters were acting up, and basically it would have been nice to have that button with us. I don't know if we would have pressed it in that circumstance, but just knowing it's there gives you a lot more peace of mind. We got the inReach Mini from my father-in-law, thanks Al, and basically there's a few different options as far as plans where you get coverage in all kinds of areas. We have the most conservative plan called the Freedom Plan, where you get 3 free program messages. So in advance, you set up your messages, what you want to send, then you can send as many out as you want. And then you can send text messages. The device is really small, but it links to your phone, so you can easily just use the device from your phone. And each message, I believe, costs about 75 cents. The device has a map feature where people can actually track your location, and depending on what plan you have, the price will vary depending on how many people are looking at your location, how many pings it sends up to the GPS signal. So you can just look at the Garmin plan online, which I'll link in the description below to see the different options. But overall, I love it because it's small, lightweight, and just having that SOS button there is great. We use a pre-programmed message to our families where we're leaving the trailhead. Got another one that just says everything's great in the backcountry, and then in the event anything goes wrong, you got that SOS button that's gonna go direct to the emergency crews. The higher you go up, the harder it is to talk. Okay, so the second tech tool that I absolutely love, I've used for the last few years now, is an app called ViewRanger. ViewRanger is a backcountry tracking app that basically tracks your route. You don't need to be in service, you can download maps offline. It'll track your GPS coordinates from your phone, lay a track, and then if you're ever going back to the same track later, you can see where you went, leave waypoints. I use the free version, which is why I like this app, because it's a great app to use and there's no cost to using it. You can upgrade to a paid plan where you actually get different gradient overlays. There's an AR feature where you can point your camera at different peaks and see what names they are, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I think it's a great app to use. The inReach Garmin Mini does have a map feature, which I typically have on, but I find ViewRanger a little easier to use, better for looking at past routes and tracking around. So typically I have both running, but ViewRanger is my priority that I use. Oh, freezing levels definitely climbing. I think this is starting to rain, lots of tree bombs, so pretty good sign of warming. Avalanche conditions are gonna go up, so just gotta stay vigilant and choose a conservative line down. Wow, just going for it, eh?
I'm really in it.
That's awesome. That is great.
Yeah,
well done.
okay. Moves media, let's get me out. Hey? Yeah, no, that's fine. Thanks for the help, man. I'll just break the trail again.
Tech tool number 2.5 is actually another app called FatMaps, which you can use as a standalone tracking app, similar to ViewRanger, but the free version is awesome because you actually get a 3D view of the terrain that you're on. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm using topo maps, it's really difficult to see exactly how steep something is. And for us, when we're ski touring, we really want to know what's over 30 degrees and what's under 30 degrees. Anything over 30 degrees has a risk of avalanche conditions. So if you're in high avalanche conditions, you want to stay below 30 degrees. So FatMaps has an amazing overlay, and getting that 3D mapping feature really lets you see the terrain before you get into it. And it's amazing how much it helps actually looking through it, looking through your route if you haven't gone to a specific area, and really getting a lay of the land. It's something that I would definitely consider upgrading to for the premium version, because I want to track my routes, search for other routes, and use all the same features as ViewRanger. Right now, for the free versions, I like tracking my routes with ViewRanger, switch over to FatMaps for scouting the route, using that 3D map feature, and also using it if I'm in reception when I'm up on the mountain. And the last tech tool that I wanted to share with you guys is a external cell phone battery charger. I use a charger case, I think it's called the Mophie, which is great. It gives me, basically doubles my battery life on my phone. If you're using a phone to track your route, it's super risky, because if it gets cold and your battery dies, then you're out of any ability to track yourself and see where you're on a map. So I have the inReach as a backup map tracker, but I also keep an external cell phone case, battery case with me in the event that I need to use the phone. These conditions are an absolute slog today. This heavy snow just makes for such hard trail braking. Even in the trail, just snow gets stuck to your skis and hard to maneuver. Another awesome tool, especially in these conditions, not exactly a tech tool, is the skin wax. When the snow gets super heavy, it sticks to the bottom of your skins and it's super tough going up. Sarah especially gets big accumulations of like chunks under her skis, so this really helps prevent that from happening. So with all the technology that I bring with me, I always keep anything battery powered below my waist, away from my beacon, because batteries can interfere with the signal. And if you get buried in a weird position, it might interfere with people trying to find you with their avalanche beacon. So typically I keep my GoPro on my ski pole, my cell phone in my right leg pocket, and my inReach in my left leg pocket, well away from my beacon on my chest. All right, guys, that is it for this video. If you have any cool tech tools that you'd like to take with you in the backcountry, let me know in the comment section below. We're gonna go see if we can actually spray the snow around and make our way down in this kind of heavy, wet snow, but should be nice regardless.